Hello, and welcome back to Infinite Roleplay. Today, I'm going to be making my very first Dungeon World character. Character I plan to play in my very first Dungeon World game, run by Chris Wilhelm, my buddy over at Drop Dice, and I already know it's going to be a blast. But I'm going to be making my character with Photoshop so that I can record this, because I don't have a form fillable PDF of this. Maybe I'll make them form fillable in the future. But I'm going to be playing a barbarian. Now, when creating a character, you can start off with the name. This is a temporary name because I don't know what his name is going to be, but for now, let's just call my barbarian Billy Badass, because he's about to be a badass. Starting off at level 1, and of course at 0 experience. Let's see, my body type, Mighty Thews. Just circling it for now. My eyes are indeed wild. Clothes, let's see, scavenger's outfit, whether inappropriate, scraps. I think scraps. He's just not well dressed because he's a barbarian. He doesn't need to be well dressed. But the question of stats. Now, in Dungeon World, you could roll randomly for stats, but they kind of already have it taken care of that for you by giving you a listed stat array. The stat array is as follows: 16, 15, 13, 12, 9, and 8. So much like other D20 based games, even though this is not a D20 based game, the stats work very, very similarly. I want to be a tough guy, so I'm going to have a 16 in my strength. I need to be strong, so a 15 in my strength, 16 in my constitution, 15 in my strength. I know I said that wrong, but we're human and thus fallible. Let's see, 13 dexterity seems appropriate. So I'm just going to be swinging my big sword around. His worst stat is going to be intelligence, because why not? Going to be slightly more charismatic than intelligent. So I have the 15, 13, 16, 12. Maybe he's a bit, nah, you know what? He's not that wise. He's not that wise at all. But he is somewhat charismatic. So with my ability scores filled out, I have to put in my ability modifiers. The way ability modifiers works in Dungeon World, or what the ability modifiers are, you need this little chart for, because it's a little bit different than, Dungeons and Dragons. They don't go all the way up to 4, they only go up to +3, and the maximum score is 18. That comes later on when we start leveling up. But my strength is a +1. My dexterity is a +1. My constitution is a +2. My intelligence is a -1 because I'm a genius. And both my wisdom and charisma are 0. With that now done, we can move on to hit points. Hit points work very differently. I like the way hit points work in Dungeon World. The Barbarian's starting hit points is 8 plus his Constitution score. So my Constitution score is 16. That would make my maximum hit points at level 1 24. Now, the maximum hit points I could have forever is, I think, 18. That's a little too high. 26. I'm almost at max hit points at level 1. I'll never get much more hit points than 24. Sounds a bit weird, but personally, I think it's a bit awesome. Choosing my alignment, I think I'll choose neutral, because a neutral barbarian Must teach someone the ways of their people. And we move on to our starting moves. I have to choose one, either full plate and packing steel, or unencumbered, unharmed. I'm choosing unencumbered, unharmed, because I want to be a half-naked barbarian, wielding a big-ass sword. So as long as I am below my load, and neither wear armor nor carry a shield, I get a +1 to my armor. So I'm just going to mark that off in my armor. I have 1 armor. Bonds, I'll make up the bonds when we actually start playing. And I know who I'm playing with. Outsider race. Now in Dungeon World, each class has a specific choice or a specific selection of races that one can choose from. Each selection of that race has something unique. In this case, a barbarian could be an elf, a dwarf, a halfling, a human, but they're always an outsider. They always come from an uncivilized land because they're a freaking barbarian. So, of course, I'm an outsider. Probably play a dwarf because I love dwarves. I'll get to use the stereotypical accent and be like, oh, I'm a barbarian. Watch me cut things to little bitty pieces because that's what I do. Anyways. I forgot to choose my Herculean appetites. I need to choose 2 of these, which will be pure destruction and mortal pleasure. Because it's kind of my inspiration, Conan is my inspiration for this, even though I'm Conan the dwarf. I'm a short Conan with a big beard. But that's alright. I'll tell you, that's alright. So with that done, I'm basically done. Barbarian has 1 more sheet. So let me just add that. Starting coin. Max load is 8 plus strength. My strength was 15, so 15 and 8 is what, 23? Oh, strength, that's the strength modifier. Sorry, STR. Strength modifier, so max load is 9. Weight is not a huge thing. As you can see, dungeon rations listed right there. You get 5 dungeon rations for 1 weight. Dagger is 1 weight. Simple token from where I'm from. Now I have to choose my options here. Choose an axe or a 2-handed sword. I like a 2-handed sword because I'm not going to be using a shield anyway. Out of these choices, either chainmail or adventuring gear and dungeon rations. I like the adventuring gear because the way Dungeon World works, I can use that in a pinch. And as far as my starting character is concerned, I'm pretty much completely done. Everything you see in this section is advanced moves. We don't start getting advanced moves until we hit level 2. And we're only starting off at level 1. But I need this one at level 2. What is best in life? At the end of a session, if during this session you have crushed your enemies, seen them driven before you, or hear the lamentations of their kinfolk, mark XP. Do it now. Yes, do it now. Get to the dragon. Anyway, that's my first Dungeon World character, Billy Badass the Barbarian. I hope you enjoyed. I hope I imparted and shared some knowledge, and I hope this helps you make your Dungeon World characters in the future. Until then, this has been Infinite Roleplay. My name is Nelson. Peace the fuck out.